What are some college life pro tips? Try to make friends with someone in each class. Classwork is a lot less stressful if you have people you can discuss things with or get notes if you miss a day, or who can give you a heads up about changes in assignments, etc. This holds especially true for other students who share your major. 3 of my good college friends and I had basically the same schedule our junior and senior years due to similar major requirements. We were able to learn from each other a lot of the time, knock out homework thoroughly, and go to the bar. Don't buy your books at the bookstore. Always buy from Amazon, Chegg, or some other source. The bookstore is way overpriced and never worth your time. Sleep. You won't function nearly as well if you're dead tired all the time. Instead of playing video games for another 2 hours, just go to bed. Don't buy those mesh garbage cans they sell in every campus bookstore. You won't put a bag in it. You or someone else will vomit in it. It will get everywhere. Get to know your professors early on. As you get into your later years at school, a good prof connection can land you a research or marking job and can be a great reference. I did my senior thesis with a prof I'd known since first year. Also, don't be afraid to study and work on campus. My marks were a lot better in my 3rd and 4th year because I did 75% of my work at school. Get involved in your department as soon as possible. I can't emphasize this enough, and I wish I had done this earlier when I was in school. Your professors likely still work/do research in what they teach. Find a professor or 2 that you like and ask them how you can help if they have any opportunities to do research with them or other things, depending on your major. They are wonderful connections to have, and they will love that you actually care about what you're studying and want to get involved. I wish I had done this earlier. I could have been one of the students going to awesome conferences and co-writing papers. Egg in ramen edit. Since this post has gotten some attention, I will post my makeshift recipe that you may or may not like. First off, I use the Oriental Maruchan ramen as my main staple, but of course I love to try everything. First I cook the noodle in the post, softening them up. Then I add soy sauce, mirin if I have any, lemon/lime juice, sriracha, garlic powder, cinnamon, and the flavor packet. That makes up the most of the broth. Next, I like to add vegetables, any kind really, just whatever I have in my fridge that works. I make sure to add the egg last because it cooks really fast. At this point I'm looking through my fridge for anything that might add a little extra flavor. Old Asian food leftovers, especially beef, makes it taste better. It works best to add it to a separate bowl first, whisk, then add it into the pot slowly, but that makes another bowl dirty. If you skated through high school without really learning how to study, manage your time, or do any real work, and you think you can do the same thing in college, you're probably gonna be in for a very rude awakening. Edit. Clarified my point. Find a toilet nobody knows about on campus. One that's clean, or has 2-ply toilet paper. Find that magical toilet, and tell nobody of its existence. Edit. Thanks for the gold, strangers. Network. Seriously, you don't realize how little time you have. You will not be guaranteed any kind of job after college, so networking is extremely important. It isn't too hard either. Just attend some networking events, talk to some of the people there. A lot of them are really cool and want to recruit people. They just need to do it in advance. Also, your alumni organization will usually have some kind of assistance too. Getting your networking set up will really help you out in the long run. Plus, if you have to leave your job or get let go, you can reach out to the companies you networked with to get work faster. Visit a counselor to figure out how many credits you should take to get you out of there on time. I didn't, and now I'm going another semester, which has really drained my bank account. Ask people what their major is. Find people who are in the same department as you and ask about the teachers in your program. Everyone wants to share their classroom hacks with you. They want to tell you all about how Professor so and so talks a big game, but the tests are always easy, or how in college classes they had to get a study group because the exams were so hard. They want to tell you want to study hard and what you can kind of ignore. In a couple of years, you'll do the same for an incoming freshman. It will put you at ease, knowing what to expect, and you may develop a mentor relationship with an upperclassman. Also, you can get their books from them for cheap, because the new edition is out, and even though it's not different, the bookstore won't give them any money for them. They would rather give them to you, or sell them for cheap to unload them. Also, remember what other people's majors are, and ask them for advice about fun or interesting electives to take. Some of the best classes I took were recommended from other students, not my advisor. That being said, don't buy your books at the bookstore. You probably already know this, but it is going to feel easier and safer to buy your books there. Don't do it. You can get the same book from an upperclassman or online for way less. You're already paying enough. Call ahead and ask what books are required for each of your courses. Order them in advance. Don't show up to your first class without books. Don't hang out with your roommate all the time, and leave your dorm door propped open when you're not busy. You'll see your roomie plenty, and by all means, be friends if you get along. But if you try to cling to them, you won't branch out as much, you'll stay in your dorm more, and if you ever get into a disagreement, you'll have nowhere to go. As for part 2, if people see a closed door, they likely won't knock to introduce themselves. An open door is an invitation to get to know you, and makes your dorm feel less like a prison cell. I made some great friends that way. Go walk around the halls looking for open doors and chat with the people inside. The people you meet in college can be valuable assets to you when it comes to job connections later on. As cheesy as it sounds, add people on Facebook. You maybe won't actually talk to them again, but it will give your newsfeed a more diverse idea as to what is happening on campus and what you want to participate in. Go to class. Take notes with freaking pen and paper, not a laptop. Laptops will distract you. Pay attention and it'll pay off later. When you're in class, actually be in class. I assure you you'll absorb the material better if you pay thorough attention during the lecture, so less time spent studying later. Edit. Addressing a common comment. As someone with a CS degree, I assure you, even if you're in CS, don't bring a laptop to lecture. Don't bang everyone who lets you, or don't let everyone bang you. When you meet your roommate for the first time, scream as loud as you can and kick them in the chest, asserting your dominance for the remainder of the semester. Be on guard for similar displays for your roommate, as the dominant status will be used later to select mates. Dude, don't frick around. High school is nothing. College is so much more important. I'm about to start my 3rd year and that's the best advice I can give. Keep your GPA up. I lost my Bright Future scholarship because my GPA dropped too low. It was a free $2,500 every year, and now I'm struggling to pay for tuition. Good luck, homeboy. X posted from a similar thread a while back. Speaking as a current and former student, find out who your academic advisor is now. Get in contact with them as soon as possible. Let them know your plans. They'll help you figure out every step you need to take to get where you want to go. Don't feel like you're locked into whatever major you thought you wanted going in. If it ain't working, it ain't working. Better to choose your major earlier than later. Don't take core classes like English and math or elective classes for granted. You can gain a lot from them. If you're a pre-med major, you still need to learn to write and need to learn analytical skills, which you can indeed gain from a history or philosophy class. Take classes that sound interesting, not just ones that fit your don't get up before noon schedule. The more engaged you are in the class, the more you'll get from it. Besides, you'll be forced to take some classes that are boring as frick, and having a fun class will give you something to look forward to. Speaking as a college instructor, know how to contact your instructors. Do it early and regularly. It actually is harder to fail someone you know and like. Use the school's student support, like the tutoring center, writing center, study groups, etc. You will learn as much from fellow students as you will from your instructor. Follow directions, please. The easiest way to improve your grade is just to RTFM. You would not believe how many students fail papers because not all the required elements are there. Visit the library early in the term. Know how to use it. Ask a reference librarian. They are geniuses and will help you with anything research related. I have a ton more, but I'll stop there. If anybody has any student/teacher questions, feel free to PM me. For serious reals. Edit for formatting. Show up to office hours periodically. Even if you don't really need help, just get to know the professors and make sure they know you. Eventually you'll need reference letters for a few things. Professor here. Get used to the shift in academic landscape. You will probably see a massive jump from a 30-hour timetable in school to an 8-hour timetable of lectures. This doesn't mean you have 22 extra hours per week for Call of Duty, drinking and failing to get laid. It means you are now in control of your own education, and it'll be what you make of it. My rule of thumb is, for every 2-hour lecture I deliver, you as a student should go away and do 8 hours of independent study based on the lecture topic, and that's a pretty good ratio to live by. I would say that 95% of those who flunk and drop out fail to adjust to this shift. Everything American college films have taught you is a lie. A worrying portion of students legitimately go to university expecting to party for 7 months, then spend 2 weeks revising, probably as part of a Rocky-style training montage, to pass with flying colors, ending in motivational speeches from their professors telling them that they didn't think they'd do it, but they really turned it around. If you don't adjust to this, and if you don't self-motivate, you'll simply fail. The best advice I can give you is to treat university like a job and put in a 9 to 5 every day. Those who do well in high school seem to be especially prone to failing in this way. Complacency is the death of university education. Raw intellect will only see you so far as an undergraduate. I'd say that success is at most 30% intelligence and raw ability, and the remaining 70% is effort and motivation. Getting into this mindset quickly is more important than anything else you can do. Editors, some people appear to be confused, or even up in arms. I should point out that I don't work at an American university. Our students take 8 hours a week of lectures and spend a good chunk of time from there in tutorials or undertaking independent learning with access to academic staff as necessary. I'm essentially recommending a 40-hour work week. If your university gives you a 20-hour timetable, adjust the ratio. Different systems with very different approaches to the degree of autodidactic learning to be under attack. Ask your professor for their opinions. They'll probably tell you without being asked. Assume that a substantial commitment of time will be required outside of lectures. I've been in undergrad way too long, 7 years, mostly community college, so I think I'm a pro by now. Make connections with professors. Go to office hours. Find someone who can be a mentor for you, someone who is well connected and well published, especially if you are considering grad school, but also responsive to your needs and on the same wavelength as you intellectually. Finding and forming mentors is the single most important habit I've picked up in college. Push yourself. Don't take the easy classes. Take the hardest and most challenging professors. A B in a tough class is more satisfying and more brag-worthy than an A in an easy class. There are entire majors that are easy classes. Avoid them. When you graduate, you will respect yourself more if you know you worked your ass off for the degree. Find the most quiet, obscure corner of the library. Live there. Make friends with studious people and study with them. Turn off your computer. If you are writing an essay, turn off your Wi-Fi. Put your phone on airplane mode. Last but not least, something I suck at, make time for yourself so you don't burn out. I try to take 1 day a week off as Sabbath. Even a half day is good. Make your bed. Do your laundry every week. I don't know about you, but I find my thoughts get disorganized when my apartment does. I really enjoy Cal Newport's blog and advice for students. Read his little red book. Congratulations. Welcome to one of the biggest adventures of your life. All my friends who have graduated wish if they could get the intellectual stimulation at work that you get in classes. Enjoy it. Use Quizlet/flashcard apps for when you are inevitably waiting in a line to study more frequently in short bursts, so you have more time for activities and a social life. I'm assuming you're going to be a freshman, so here's the biggest piece of advice I can give you. Be friendly. Smile and say hello to everyone you make eye contact with. Keep your dorm room door open while you are in the room and say hey to people walking by. They may want to come in and say hello if you do. Do the same with others. Poke your head in and say what's up when walking by open doors in your hallway. I lived on a floor with 100 other people my freshman year. I'm going to be a senior now, and I made numerous friends this way. A lot of them I lost touch with as I refined my group of friends, but a lot of them I'm also still very good friends with. It will feel weird at first, but as a person with social anxiety, trust me and embrace the weirdness. Use Rotema professors. Com to help you pick a class. You will do so much better if you get a good professor. Don't delay picking a major very long. You will waste a lot of time and money as long as you are undecided. If you are introverted, like me, make a special effort the first semester to chat people up. They may become your friends for life. No one knows you there, so you can 100% reinvent yourself since your rep won't follow you. Live in the dorm until you have a nice circle of friends. Off-campus housing is nice, but will isolate you.